Tonight we are going to talk about a subject that is a little hard for me. These are the clients that I really struggle with, and I don't want you to take that in the wrong way. I don't want you to take it that I don't like to work with these clients. That's not it. It's just the opposite. Is these clients, they really tug on my heartstring, and that's when a family has come to the realization that they need to place a loved one in a nursing home. And I know that's a hard decision. I mean, I can't, it doesn't compare what I feel as what that family feels when that decision is made that it's time for a loved one to go into a nursing home. And sometimes there's just no other options. And so what I want to do tonight is take an opportunity to talk about, okay, so there's no other way around it. Your loved one needs to go in a nursing home. Okay, if that's the case, then let's give you the tools to pick the best nursing home that you can, one that's going to meet your needs and one that you're going to feel good at the end of the day when you say, hey, I know I had to put mom or dad or grandma or grandpa in the nursing home. At least you can live with the fact that you did everything that you could to make sure that you got them in the best facility possible. So, hi, my name is Pam Dunwald. I am one of your nurse advocates from your Nurse Advocate Consulting. And so today, our Tuesday tips. If you're joining us live in our private Facebook forum, welcome. Please go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and we will get those answered as we talk about this kind of emotional topic. When I say emotional, I mean my kids when we completed our advanced directives, I put in my advanced directives that I don't want to go to a nursing home. And so because that's on my advanced directives, if I get to the point where the kids say, Ma, we can't follow your wishes. I know you didn't want to go in a nursing home. They actually have to go to court to have the judge rule that I can go in a nursing home. So when you're making these kind of decisions, don't take it lightly. But my kids and I have had the conversation, so they know that that's in my advanced directives. So they know that is my wish. So it's not something they're going to find out by surprise. It's they already know that. So that's one thing that this week we're focusing a lot on advanced directives. We got our challenge, we got our free webinars, but one of the most important things is when you make your wishes, you need to make your wishes known. All right, so let's jump into talking about finding a nursing home. Don't worry about having to take a lot of notes or remember everything I've said, because what's going to go along with this video, we've got a blog post on it, so you're going to have it in writing. We'll also have a free checklist that's going to be available for you to download. It's going to go through a lot of the things that we talked about and even more, and it's going to have more resources for you. So don't worry, we've got you covered there. I want to make sure that you have all the tools necessary to do your due diligence and be able to choose a nursing home worthy for your aging loved one or a loved one with a chronic illness. So let's get started. So the first thing that we want to look at is we want to look at location and accessibility. And what does that mean? Location, who do you need this loved one to be close to? Or do you need to find a nursing home in your area? Or do you have a sister halfway across the country that's willing to take main responsibility for making sure their needs are met? So the nursing home should be somewhere across the country. So that's one of the first things that you need to think about. I mean, think about visitors. Who might come and see them? Where would be the best location for them to be? And how accessible that nursing home is going to be for, like I said, visitors and for people that are able to come in and see them. So the first thing is, once you determine location and accessibility, I really suggest that you schedule some tours and you get some visits. And now this should be a 2 or 3 part visit. So one visit, you're going to call, get the tour. You're going to get the grand tour of the whole facility. They're going to know you're coming. You're going to get to see everything that you might not see if you go by yourself. So the tour is important so that you can see all facets of the facility. But then we encourage another 1 or 2 visits, unannounced, maybe during an evening or on the weekend when, it's the atmosphere is a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more laid back. And, ask the residents, do you like it here? What do you think you could get good care here? and just do your due diligence. And again, a scheduled visit and then a couple of non-scheduled visits. So one of the things to consider is one of the questions to ask, and this is going to, an educated consumer, knowledge is power. So one of the things that you want to ask is, what is your staff to resident ratio? And what I mean by that is, how many nursing assistants, how many nurses, do they have RNs or do they have LPNs? Do they have both? How many staff, how many caregiving staff members per, how many residents per staff member? And that's what you want to know. Obviously, the lower the number of residents, to staff member is going to, in theory, give you better care. One of the things when you're touring is another thing to look at is, if a resident puts the call light on, how long does it take for that alarm to go off before someone is attended to? Are there people in the dining area calling out? Do the people seem to be in pain? Do they feel like they're promptly getting their needs met? What is the dining experience? Does everyone dine in a community dining area, or are they expected to eat in their rooms? When we went through the pandemic, that was just a horrible challenge for our nursing homes. And it's a two-sided coin, trying to keep everybody safe versus the flip side of that was causing a horrible isolation issue with our seniors. When if people wanted to come, some nursing homes, if people wanted to visit theirs, they could go outside and look through the window. Can you imagine a loved one in a nursing home, not being able to see your family? So what circumstances are they? The pandemic has passed. So what are their current policies for isolation? When and if would it be a possibility that your loved one may have to be confined to their room and eat in their room? So ask those kind of questions. Really important now since we've gotten through the pandemic. So also ask, what are the qualifications of the caregivers? RNs, LPNs can pass meds, LPNs can do treatments, they can do things, but they have to work under a supervision of an RN. So do they have an RN there? Can they do infusion therapy if your loved one needs to be on IV antibiotics, or do they have to go somewhere else? Or can they do wound care? What types of things can they do at that facility, and what are they staffed for? So when we're talking about, location accessibility, we talked about the proximity to friends and family, how, who's going to be able to travel, where are they going to be where they can get some visitors? The other thing is to ask what their visitor policies are. Do they have, set hours? Are they pretty flexible during end of life cares? Do they bend those? I mean, those policies. Can someone spend the night with someone that maybe is on hospice or working, with those end of life cares? If your loved one happens to smoke, what's their smoking policy? What do they do to accommodate that, or what are some potential challenges there? Next thing you want to consider is financial considerations. How is this nursing home stay going to be paid for? If you are in a hospital for a minimum of 3 midnights or 3 overnights, so you've crossed midnight 3 times being in a hospital as an inpatient, and you have to go to a nursing home, and the goal is for you to get some rehab and get better and eventually go home, then that would be a covered service under Medicare. Medicare will pay 100% of those first 20 days. And then there's copays, and so this conversation tonight is not about that. So if you have questions, reach out. We've got other videos and other things that we've talked about how a nursing home stays gets paid for. So that's a different topic. But there are certain circumstances where Medicare will pay, like I said, for 20 days at 100%, and then you have a copay. And after 100 days, Medicare doesn't pay at all. So you're either Medicaid, if you have veterans benefits, or you go on Medicaid, or you pay privately. So it's really, really important to know. And this is where an advocate like ourselves can come in, help you sort all this stuff out. How is it going to get paid for? what are our options? So this is would be one reason why you may seek out the expertise of a patient or nurse advocate to help you sort those things out. So if you have a VA benefits, do they accept the veterans benefits as payment? So find out. You need to figure out how it's going to get paid for, and then what payments do they take. Some insurances, there are some insurances out there we've seen in our area where some insurances don't have a very good reputation, and some facilities, some places are not taking certain types of insurance. So make sure if your loved one is on an Advantage plan or an insurance that they accept that payment source. So you want to look at, next thing is we're going to kind of look into satisfaction. So, when you're doing your tour, what does the quality of life look like at the residents? Are they smiling? Do you happen to come in when they're doing activities? Is there someone coming in and playing music? Everybody looks happy and cheerful. Or is it really kind of dark and dreary and a dingy kind of experience? So, just use all your senses, your eyes, your ears, your smell. What does it smell like? Is there odors? So just be very attentive to the surroundings when you go and visit. So another thing is, when we're talking about quality of life, what types of activities do they have and how often do they offer them? A lot of nursing homes will have a dedicated person, an activity director, some title, something like that, where they are actually in charge of activities for the residents there at their community or at their nursing home. So find out, are there outings, or are they, everybody have to stay there? Do they have things, cards, bingo? What do they have to keep your loved one engaged and keep them with some kind of quality of life? So next, let's move on. Some of the things that we can also look at is how do you look at the quality? So what are the standards? So there's a lot of things that you can do. You can, there is the ombudsman, and it's OMBUDSMAN. The ombudsman is a government agency, but they are advocates, and so there's an ombudsman for uh, long-term care or nursing home, and they are in your area, so you could look them up online, or your local aging and disability resource center for the aging, whatever your government aging agency is in your county would be able to tell you who the ombudsman is in your area, and they can help provide information on a nursing home that you're looking for. Also in our checklist, we've got uh, the web addresses for Medicare Compare. So you can go to the Medicare website and actually look at the quality standards and look and see if they've had citations. Look and see, they get, the nursing homes get a state survey every 9 to 15 months, somewhere in there. The state comes in and surveys them on many, many different items of quality. And so you can see the results. You can see if this facility may have been cited. Now, even in the nursing homes in our state of Wisconsin, and I believe this is national now, where if you're in the hospital and the social workers are presenting you with discharge planning materials, and you are going to a nursing home, they have to give you the home care compare information from the local nursing homes in the area there of the hospital. So there are ways for you to be able to check them out, so to speak, and be well aware of what they're well known for, and maybe what they're not so well known for. So make sure that you do your homework for that. So I just wanted to take a minute about the checklist. The checklist, I think, would be a valuable tool for you, because it goes down into all the categories we talked today and a couple of more, and it gives you questions to ask. I mean, they may look at you a little funny when you're asking their questions, because they're probably going to wonder, well, how do you know to ask me that question? Well, that's my job. That's my job as a nurse advocate, to give you those tools and give you that education, so you are an educated consumer and you get some of the inside information. And like I said, if you have any questions, this would be a great time, no matter where you are in the country. There's advocates like us that can help you. A lot of advocates work virtually, as we do. some are local. So just reach out if you need some assistance in that. But so grab that checklist. I know this is a tough decision to make. I know people struggle with this and they lose sleep over this, but we understand that sometimes there just isn't another option, especially when we're dealing with dementia. And we didn't talk a little bit, but if you are dealing with a loved one with dementia, that's a whole nother ballgame. If you're looking for a memory care unit, if they advertise a memory care unit, ask them what is your memory care unit? Is it a locked unit? And when they say locked unit, well, what happens if someone tries to get out? Are there alarms? Is there a higher staff ratio in their memory care unit? Are there more staff available? Just what does it mean for memory care, and how are they going to keep your loved ones safe? So that's also a little bit in our checklist. So, but I wanted to make sure that if you are looking for memory care, you specifically ask them how they're going to keep your loved ones safe. So with that being said, thanks for stopping by. Again, we were live if we are live every Tuesday in our private Facebook forum, speaking out in the care of your aging parent. So don't hesitate to come on over and join our community. We'd love to help you in problem solve for you as you're caring for an aging loved one, whether it's your parents, spouse, or grandparents. So we'll see you back on the next Tuesday Tips. Take care.